Yo, 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 what up and welcome to Grizz 901, your number one Memphis Grizzlies post-game show. And it's not even close. But tonight we're going to get into what exactly that was. We don't know either, but we're going to discuss it. We're going to break down a lot of the game there in the first segment. In the second segment, got a Grizz trivia for my boy Nate, who's back with us tonight. And then the last segment, listen, I have been busy. I haven't had a chance to do the good-looking look around and the look ahead, but we do have our own look around, look ahead. We just have no Ryan tonight. By all means, Ryan sent me the audio. I just didn't have time today. Today has been a crazy busy day, but we have a lot to talk about. The Grizzlies lost 108 to 128 to those evil Rockets led by Dylan Brooks, who didn't lead anything tonight. But tonight we're going to get to all of that. So make sure you tune in, but do us a favor. Go ahead and join us over on YouTube. The chat is always popping. It's already popping now. And so make sure you join us over here. Well, maybe try to talk you off the ledge if you're on the ledge. But honestly, I have so many thoughts that I don't want to take too much time. So let's go ahead and get to our boy, Nate. Yo, what up and welcome back, Nate, man. How are you?
Nothing to say. Nah, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I actually spent most of the second half trying to rock someone to sleep, so I'm actually doing all right. I'm just glad to be in here, not having to do that anymore.
Hey, listen, I feel you. But tonight, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll break it down. Everybody wants to talk about the game, but can we take a small step back? We haven't talked to you in a minute. I know we talked to you a little bit last game afterwards, but give us a brief update on your life. You're a new dad since the last off season, and so a lot of good things happen in your life.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. You covered it. Hey, work's going really well. I feel like I'm really making steps. And let me say, I'm a dad and I don't sleep.
Yeah.
I went to the chiropractor today, and I'm pretty sure every vertebra was in the wrong place.
Is it vertebra or vertebrae?
Gives a shit. Whatever. Every vertebrae. There we go. We're gonna make a new word today. It's like calling moose meese. Yeah, that's about it, man. I mean, it's new dad life. I literally was sitting there barely watching the second half because I was trying to make sure someone went to sleep. My back hurts. I'm tired. I'm excited to be watching Grizzlies basketball, even when they're a little bit cheeks like tonight. I'm still excited to be able to be back watching it.
For sure. And honestly, we have a big game tomorrow going against the Orlando Magic. But before we get there, let's kind of just take a step back and look at tonight, because I don't want to get too far ahead. Listen, you can't just team up on me. Tonight was ugly. 128 to 108. The Grizzlies obviously lost there down in Houston. But overall, just kind of off the top rope, immediate thoughts.
I mean, bit of a tale of two halves. Obviously, the first half went fine. And then second half, he got outscored by 26. So not as fine in the second half. I said this. I mean, I wasn't on for very long in the last post game. I didn't get to see a bunch of what you and Sane were able to talk about. Yeah. But I know part of what I was saying we were talking about was this team has to score a lot of points because they're not defending anybody.
Right.
Just like not with this roster, It's the only big difference between tonight's game and the last game was that the Grizzlies didn't put up 120, right? Like the Rockets are at 128, but the last game, Grizzlies would have been neck and neck with that, right? So not much changed in my opinion, other than I thought, first half, Edey looked better. And then second half, obviously it fell apart, but kind of fell apart for everybody in the second half. Dez never got it going tonight. It was pretty tough for him in the first half last game. But he got it going in the second half. Dude's got to quit fouling, by the way. That might be a conversation for later. But he's got the Jaren thing going on right now where he's just like constantly swiping down. And sometimes like, dude, if you're off the court, we're kind of screwed, man. Him to figure it out. It's weird that I'm saying this. But with the current state of the roster, Santi can't take just 2 shots.
Yeah, I didn't get that tonight. Like that really bothered me. One, I bet on him. Two, like I just did not understand what that was. Like in all honesty, and we're gonna get deeper into the game. Believe you me, I promise you, kind of a bad mood, but I have so many thoughts. I don't know why I'm in a bad mood tonight. It might be because of that game, but I'm honestly more pissed off than I want it to be about that game. And I am a very even kill. Like I never get too high, never get too low. But I'm pissed off, and I have some thoughts, and I'm not sure if I need to share them just yet.
Not yet.
But I'm getting close.
Listen, since I had my son, the whole world's turned. I'm just like Mr. Positivity now. I'm going to keep it straight. Now, I'm going to bring this up, though, because this is the one thing that I messaged you about that I couldn't stand tonight. Dude, they just got punked on the boards.
For sure.
I mean, Edie can't let, like, I know the next one, Crypto King. I don't know if I've seen him here before. Shout out to you. I
haven't.
So join us on YouTube.
By the way, you're on Twitter. And honestly, we love Twitter. That's why we stream to Twitter on a consistent basis. But you're not seeing all of the chat. The entire chat, literally, it's scrolling as I'm talking. It's over on YouTube. Join us over at Bluff City Media and join us there. We go live after each game. But love to have you over here and kind of chat with us as well. There's a lot more of you over in YouTube. So go ahead, Nate.
Here, this can't happen. And he looked better in the first half tonight. I'm like, listen, it's 2 games in. And for him and BC both, like no Jaren just kills them. But you can't have that, man. You've got to be stronger going up for the rebounds. And listen, let's start off with Edie on that front because I want to hit it really quick. He's got to be stronger. He's got to be stronger. We'll talk about that later. I know you already want to talk about that.
I'm so eager.
I know you want to. But you got to be stronger with the boards. There's plenty tonight that were in his hands and somebody just took it from him. You're not big enough anymore in this league to get away with that. Right. And I'm far from out on Edie. I liked a lot of what I saw. I liked what I was starting to see even in Utah when I was there live too. It just, I think he fouled out, got cut short. But you got to be stronger with the boards. That goes for everybody. They don't have any nasty in them right now.
None.
It's pretty much Ja or Jay Huff. Which, respect to Jay Huff. Only got 16 minutes tonight, by the way, which I don't understand. He might be the second best player on the team. But need me some more Jay Huff.
You know why?
Outside of Ja and Jay Huff, I'm like, I don't see any nasty from anybody, including Dez. Now, maybe it's just because Dez only gets to play 5 minutes in the first half because he keeps fouling.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Smart doesn't have it. Aldama, I mean, he played really well last game, but he doesn't have it. I still like what I'm seeing from Jalen Wells. Obviously, he didn't shoot very well tonight, but I do like what I'm seeing from him. They don't have the Daniel Greer tweet. That's what they don't have it right now.
They ain't got that fire in that eye, baby. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about let's do this differently than we normally do. Normally we kind of try to sandwich it. I don't know why I said sandwich it, but sandwich good. You get a little nasty in the middle, and then you get the good. I'm tired of talking about the good. Let's get you the good after. We'll make you feel better. We'll send you on your way with a better. But I want to get to the nasty real quick because one, I don't know if I am in a bad mood, but I'm kind of irritated. Let's talk about Edie. And honestly, like if you're just kind of a box score watcher, does this make you feel good? Four fouls. So he played in the game. He didn't foul out. 13 points and 9 rebounds on 6 of 10 shooting. Does that make you feel good, Nate?
Right. I'm just watching the box score. Yeah.
Just the box score. It looks good. And most people are going to just watch the box score. And I get it. He doesn't fit this offense. Zero. This new European style offense, which I think could work if they would run it. They didn't tonight. But if they would run it, I would be thrilled. But unfortunately, they didn't run anything. So tonight we have the big monster just kind of hanging out, and he's really not doing much of anything. Every now and then he posts up. Every now and then he gets thrown the ball, and that's it. Like that's the offense revolving around Edie or having involvement in the offense at all. But what irritates me the most is the dude is not a good rebounder. Like, he had 9 rebounds tonight, but I just don't see what I want to see in him being a rebounder. But I don't want to just kind of cast him down too much too quickly because he is a bad rebounder. He is a rookie. And in the end of the day, him being a rookie, I'll give him a pass. I just don't think that he needs to be the guy who's the starter. And going back to Austin a little bit, because we are talking about Edey, the Grizzlies need a center. And I know that Jaren's about to come back, but Jaren is not a good rebounder. They need somebody who can stabilize the rebounding and allow to live with Edey and his shortcomings as he's a rookie. But right now, it's just not it. And that's what worries me, is him being a rookie, and we're kind of hitching our wagon to him a little bit.
I mean, that's just going to be what it is. But I stand by Jaren coming back is going to help him a ton. And I think it helps him with rebounding, even though Jaren's not a great rebounder. Just because you have to account for him. It's another big body someone has to be on. Right now, it doesn't matter. Right now, it doesn't matter. Like, let's put it this way. If you don't put a body on Jaren, just him being big enough, he can go get a rebound still. Right now, it doesn't matter. If there's John Contra out in front of there, Cam Whitmore's jumping over Zach Edey first off. Right. But there were so many rebounds gotten over John Contra's head, over Jake LaRavia's head. Like, they just grabbed it. They had the right position. They just grabbed it. Jaren at least is going to draw fouls in that scenario. He's going to be able to grab the ball. He got better at that last year. As much as we want to hate on him, he got a lot better at being able to take at least what came to him and not just letting it get knocked out of his hands. He got stronger. What we're talking about with Zach.
Yeah.
It's going to help just with that. But it's not just him. You know, it's the same thing. I think Black Ninja DJ put it in the comment section a minute ago, where like the Rockets had better intensity. And that's what I'm talking about. But I like the way I said it better. Like, they just don't have any nasty in them.
All right.
They just didn't want it. It got kind of punked. I mean, It's the second game of the year. I'm not panicking. But that's what happened, right? They didn't come out really to play. You hope it's because it's second game of the season. Marcus Smart looks like he's been as about cardio as I have. You know, it's guys are probably ready to go for the home opener tomorrow. They're just kind of looking forward to that. They wanted to split the road trip, and they did. So you hope that's what it is. I think it's what it is, because even in Utah, it was ugly, but they were going all game. They were going.
Well, and that's what Drew was talking about here, is it's rebounding is effort too. And I believe that rebounding is all about when the shot goes up, when the ball is literally going up into the shot motion to the flight of the ball before it hits the rim. That's what rebounding is to me.
Yeah.
Our rebounding is halfway of the flight of the ball. We're then looking around. Are we close to the rim? Cool. If the ball bounces my way, great. Like, that's our rebounding right now. And that's the frustrating part of it right now is there's nothing happening. And as Drew's saying, the best rebounders of all time are not people who are the largest. I agree. And that's why I've never been big on Edey. I'm not saying I'm out on Edey. Listen, I will embrace him. I think he can be a very good piece to this team. I've never been big on Edey. And so everybody was taking their victory laps.
He's a Grizzly now.
Just settle down on your victory laps. I hope you didn't hurt yourself when you were running around having your little parade. But I will say that Edey is frustrating. He's going to be frustrating, but we should take shots. But no, let's get into the other one. And this is my other negative. Brandon Clark.
That's surprising.
Brandon Clark.
Doesn't look good.
Buddy burnt toast.
I don't know about that, because we saw it at the end of last year. I think it's sort of the same thing with him, man. You got to wait till these other guys are around him. Nothing about Brandon's game fits what the Grizzlies are trying to do right now. Nothing about it fits it. They're all trying to do this like cutting offense, and none of them really know what they're doing when they do it. And then if they're not doing that, it's just bounce the ball around. We're going to pass it 7 times, and with 7 seconds left, whoever got it is running an ISO.
Yeah.
That's not Brandon's game. He functions off high screen, spread it out, another big on the court that can shoot, and then you let him be athletic in the paint. They're not letting him get to that at all. They're trying to run this new offense, and it's just, I don't know if it's that the offense isn't working or if it's just that it's so new that it's going to take time to work. But nothing about that fits what BC's going to do. With him and Edey both, until especially Jaren is on the court, I'm not making any kind of verdict. Yep. And neither of you or me were big Edey guys. It's no secret there. I really wanted Day'Ron Holmes, who prayers to him. Hope his recovery is going well. Seriously, like I hated seeing that. I would have rather had Kello Ware, even though who knows, maybe he's just going to be awesome because he plays for the Heat. Even though he got like 7 minutes the other night.
He looks so good though. He looks so good.
But it's verdicts out, and quite frankly, like the Grizzlies somehow have a pretty lengthy injury report with key players 0 games into the season now too.
Yeah.
So, we got Jaren coming back, Vince coming back, Gigi coming back, Luke coming back. The team's just going to look so much different. So it's hard to make a verdict on much of anything, but those two guys especially, I can't make any kind of judgment until those guys are back, no matter how rough it looks, and it has looked rough.
Yeah, one comment I wanted to bring up is Grizz Company, man. One, I ain't seen you in a minute, dude. So one, welcome. 2, Jake. He's bad, dude. He's bad. We are not big Jake fans. Probably never going to be sponsored by certain companies and establishments because we don't like certain people. We're blaming that on Nate for sure.
Let me tell you this. I've told you I'm keeping it positive. I'm keeping it upbeat. I'm gonna find a way to make it be fun. Jake leaves it all on the court. He will play hard all the time, and he has full eyes, full heart, still loses. Like that's. I don't know what to tell you.
We need to make that shirt.
Full eyes, full heart, still loses. Listen, I think Jake looks night and day better than
Jake way
last year. I've tried really hard to turn that button over.
All right, this is completely clowning on Jake, and listen, I know he's a human, so I don't want to go too far. Okay, we're talking about his play as in general. We take a step back for a second. I want to preface a lot of this. We're joking because he's not great on the court, and he would probably say that himself. We're joking because it's fun, and we're both Jake haters and of the basketball player, not the human. But the fact that literally anybody says anything about Jake, and it's just like instant boom, like the chat's just like.
Well, and I gave him all the credit in the world last year. I was like, he looks like he can play on an NBA court, and to his credit, he still looks like he could be on an NBA court, but he'd need to be like the last guy on the NBA court. And I did used to turn the TV off when he got subbed in. That used to happen. It's not that anymore. He has legitimately gotten better. It's just like he can't be a part of your main rotation. He can't play 20 whatever minutes like he did tonight. It can't. And I kept it very nice there.
Yeah. All right. So, let's move on from that real quick. And I do want to talk about this from Brian Conley. We are too small. And will that get fixed? Yes. When you get Vince, who's long, he's a little undersized, but he is long. That helps. But also then you have Gigi, who's obviously a monster, and Jaren, who's a monster. You do get them back. And so that does help with your size. But that goes to the fact that, just in general, Marcus Smart is not a good fit. And I know that, as good as you're saying is Marcus got to get in shape, to be knocking threes down. He doesn't look in shape. He doesn't look like he fits the team just in general. I just don't understand what his fit is because he's not an offensive threat. He hasn't really kind of helped on defense, and he will help on defense. Especially down the stretch, he will help. I've never loved his fit on this team, so I'm always curious what moving forward how he is long term.
He doesn't fit right now. But I will say part of the reason he doesn't look like he fits is because he's not fit. That legitimately plays a factor, right? This is a team that at its best runs up and down the court. The new offense they're trying to do has a lot of running around, and man, if you can't do that all game, that's tough. I will say one thing that's been tough for Marcus the past 2 games is he's charged with guarding guys he probably wouldn't be charged with guarding. I mean, he guarded Markkanen like the entire time he's on the court when he was here. Like Marcus Smart is a great defender. He's not supposed to be defending Lauri Markkanen.
Then what's he here doing?
He's supposed to defend the best wing player.
I was told when he came over, he's only 2 inches shorter than Dylan Brooks, but he had the same wingspan or 2 inches longer. So they had the same exact wingspan. So he could guard the same guys that Dylan Brooks guarded. Dylan Brooks would guard Lauri Markkanen and actually give him a better game. That's not happening with Marcus Smart. Well, I'm calling a spade though.
Also, Marcus Smart's out of shape. Look at that. Okay. It plays a factor, but like that's not the same game. Like Dylan doesn't play the same. Well, they do play in the same way a little bit, I guess. But we saw Marcus do that last year a little bit too. All right, we saw him guard bigger guys last year. But same thing, that's not what he's here to do. He's here to guard the best wing player. And then you have Jaren. Gotcha. And then you have, I mean, in theory, Edey. But I'd be calling the Knicks. It's another conversation. I would have been calling the Knicks a long time ago, though. So I said it a lot in the offseason. He's got to get in shape, but I agree with you. He doesn't look like he fits. And I do think him not being in shape definitely contributes to that. I don't know how much it contributes to it, though. He called him out Bundy. You can't call man out Bundy.
King Meeks, man, this got me. That's got me. Listen, King Meeks is on with you as well. You know, OG from the Knicks, which I do believe the Knicks.
That's not who I'm talking about.
Oh, who are you talking about? It's not Mikal.
Oh, no, we'll talk about it later. I'm sure we'll get into it later in the show.
Sure, I hope so. But all in all, we'll kind of move on from Smart because honestly, I think he would probably rather have your body, maybe. Because I heard you've been in the gym, man. I heard you've been in that gym working out.
Yeah, people. It's kind of like when everybody thought Sane was 5'7". People, I guess it's because I have a very nerdy voice and a weak chin, but people underestimate.
Ooh,
Interstate Nate.
Hold on. I'll keep clicking the wrong one. It keeps moving on me. Is this who we're alluding to?
It's not, but I would totally go for that.
God, I'm just completely lost in it. All right. Wayno's just messing with you, which is obvious. All right, so there is no player of the game tonight.
Real feelings.
No comment tonight. I just read the comment. Grizz Girl 1, welcome. I haven't seen you in a minute, but made adjustments. TJ didn't. Yeah, I guess. I just think we didn't play honestly well at all down the stretch. There's no way Nate wants.
Yeah, King knows better. That's bait.
There's no way. All right, let's go through this real quick. But all dominant night. 2 points can't happen.
2 shots that can't happen.
Can't happen on 2 shots. Just 1 3-pointer. Just actually went off for 27. That can't happen. Edey 13-9. We talked about it earlier. Marcus Smart 7-1-2. Ja, who played okay, had 0 rebounds, which just shows me like the game was just kind of like an F on the game, like just like an effed up like kind of game.
Effort.
Yeah, F for effort. Bain 17-3-4. If you look down, the thing is we played 11 again. Scottie Pippen Jr. is the only other one in double figures. He had 13-3-4, 2 of 3 from deep. Jitty had 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 of 3 of deep. Huff again, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 of 4 from deep. The bench shot better than the starters did from 3-pointer, which is crazy to see that tonight. So overall, weird, but we got beat pretty bad. We had nobody playing that played 30 minutes. They should be fresh tomorrow, the home opener, getting Jaren back, going against Magic. If you look at their team, they had 7 people in double figures. The leading scorer was Jalen Green, 4 of 8 from deep, 6 rebounds, 22 points. They don't pass the ball at all. They literally had 20 assists, but they literally just do not pass the ball. It's one-on-one. They make you play on one-on-one. That's why the Grizzlies offense didn't work tonight. I'm afraid that the way they play makes us, because we're not a great one-on-one team. The only one-on-one players we have, the only is Ja and Dez. That's the only ones. And so
I'd say John Jaren.
I guess Jaren. Dez is a one-on-one player though now. He can be, and he has to be, I guess, on this team.
Yeah.
Either way, but yeah, anybody impress you on that Rockets team?
I mean, Cam Whitmore is every bit the athlete he was advertised to be. I mean, he just could jump out of the gym, man. Tari Eason, I thought played really well tonight as well. That's about it. I mean, Şengün is like Sabonis light, but I'm not convinced he's ever going to be much more than that. You know, I feel like kind of Şengün gets a bunch of hype, and he's a very, very good basketball player. Yeah. Extremely talented, a lot of touch, great footwork. I don't think he's Sabonis, right? That's really about it. I mean, I thought the Grizzlies had no juice tonight. I thought that was the story of the game. And I think that they're trying to experiment with things, and it's early in the season. It's going to happen. You know, if we were 50 games of the season, I'd be like, this can't happen, right? But right now, I thought it happened in Utah as well. Ja Morant could have he could have 30-plus every night, and it would help the team win, to be clear. I don't think that would be a bad thing. But he is trying to get everyone else in a groove. And
it's the new offense.
Well, he also understands, I think, at this point, like all the guys you have out there are like, if this team's going to win until we get some of these other guys back, these guys have to be confident and be able to contribute. Right. And he is the player that can help them get into a groove and get that confidence to contribute. I think he's trying really hard to do that right now because we've seen Ja Morant just decide, okay, I'm getting to the bucket, and he gets to the bucket.
Yeah.
At any point. Yeah, he just decides, right? There's a lot of times he's not doing that right now, and I think he's trying to do it for the team's benefit because he knows these other guys have to be able to find it and contribute. In Utah, it worked. Tonight, it didn't. Tomorrow night, we have Jaren back. You won't need that as much.
Yeah. This team will play better tomorrow. They match up better with a more controlled, in a sense, the Magic. The Magic are more controlled overall than the Rockets. The Rockets they're AAU blacktop street court basketball. They legit are. They want to get they play, and I hate comparing teams. But when Baylor was like all in your face, like basketball, when they went up against Gonzaga, that's what it looked like in the second half. When Baylor went up against, I think it was the Final Four, Baylor went up against Gonzaga, just completely made Gonzaga just piss down their leg. Is that what it looked like?
That was a natty.
It was the natty? Okay, well then there you go. And so that's what happened. But I want to bring up something, and honestly, and King Meek's been all over tonight. I want to know your thoughts before I share mine, but King Meeks, Taylor got out coached again tonight. What's your thoughts overall about the coaching? We're 2 games in. We're already talking about the coaches again, which honestly, it's the dumbest thing. But go ahead. Thoughts on Taylor Jenkins?
It's hard to say. I already said I had a very hard time watching the second half tonight. And not from like being funny. It was hard to watch because it was ugly. I literally had a hard time being able to put my eyes on the screen. So it's hard for me to say what adjustments the Rockets made and didn't make. I just kind of kept seeing them get buckets and us not. Yeah. I will say in Utah, I was there. I was with my wife, and I kept looking at her, and I'm being like, he's got to put Ja back in the game. True. And another minute would go by, like, he's got to put Ja back in the game.
That's the fourth quarter. I think everybody has the same sentiment.
Well, and then you get down, and it's like I said, if he lets us get under 4 minutes without putting Ja back in the game, it's malpractice. And he put him in. There was literally a dead ball at 4 minutes and 0 seconds, and he put Ja back in the game. It was like he did it just to spite me. But it's hard to say because, you got Laurie playing 35 minutes and Ja didn't crack 30. That can't happen other than it's a pretty brutal stretch to start the season. And you're going to have to ask a lot out of these guys because of all the injuries. But I'm like, man, at some point you got to take the training wheels off too. Yeah. Right. You got to just play these guys. So I was frustrated with it in a game that I had a lot of fun at, and the Grizzlies won in Utah. When it comes out and they lose in these types of games, that's when it's going to really stick out. And it's not exactly something that we've seen be corrected in the past. Right. Yeah. This is a trend. And
But it's also the regular season.
It is. It is. But, like, also, like, the point is to win the games, right? Like, the point is to win the games. And I'm not asking him to play 45, like Thibodeau him. Okay. Right? I'm not saying, hey, Josh Hart, you're not going to sit a minute for the next 2 games. So go to the training room.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, hey, let him crack 30. That's not too much. I was glad. I mean, I didn't want to see. I'm kind of bummed Bane got to 29 minutes with the way this game was going and having to go home to play tomorrow night. But no, I mean, what are your thoughts? You got to pay closer attention tonight than I did.
Yeah. So what's so funny about just fans in general, and I'm not trying to throw shade at King Mix or anybody else. I'm always honest. I'm going to give my opinion, and I'll wrestle King Migs. I'm going to give my opinion, whether you to say that or not. I don't ever direct my opinions at anybody in particular. I said this way earlier when I saw, especially Grizz Twitter gets a little crazy, which I get it. When the Grizzlies win, the players played well. When the Grizzlies lose, it's the coaches, and that's what frustrates me. I don't think Taylor Jenkins is like tier 1 coach. I think he's better than people give him credit for. But honestly, tonight, like if you look at halftime, nobody had a problem at halftime, right? The Grizzlies were playing well. The Rockets were not playing well. The Grizzlies had some stuff going on, and the Rockets were not playing into a certain direction, like at all. Like they're a frenzy style basketball. And then I think they finally realized we have to figure out a way to change the flow of the game. And they had to do that on the defensive end. And they did that. They did make the adjustment. The problem is the Grizzlies pissed down their leg and could not ever get it back. That was the issue when it comes down to it.
But let's also, like, fair is fair. And the issue has been third quarters.
100%.
Not just this year, right? This is a running trend. So it's not. It's first half can go great. That's awesome. But I think coaching does matter. And when you come into the second half, what do you do? And it feels like consistently the Grizzlies have struggled in the second half and then like cling on to hope in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, I'm with you 100%. I'm not a Taylor Jenkins hater by any means, but fair is fair.
Yeah.
The issues are coming when coaching would be the biggest factor, you would think.
Okay.
So and then when you talk about, hey, like, figuring out, Rusty just put it in there, lineups to be able to make that happen and how you're going to be able to put your best players on the court.
Right.
He either hasn't figured out how or refuses to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Like the same thing, like not asking for these guys to play 40 minutes, just let them crack 30 and they don't, So it's, I'm with you. I'm not sitting here trying to light kerosene or anything, but at the same time, like, it's not a new thing. It's not a new problem.
True, but like if you look at the way this game rolled out tonight, just in general, like we obviously don't have the talent. That's the issue. Is if you look at this game, like you can do whatever coaching you want. Ja was on the court in the third quarter, and it still happened. Like that's my issue when it comes down to coaching is who's on the court. All right, Ja and Bane, Marcus Smart, Edey, like all these guys that everybody loves. And it happened to them. I don't know if it's necessarily coaching. I just think that honestly, they got punched in the mouth and could not recover. And it has nothing to do with coaching. Coaching, you can call timeouts. Let's have a set. Let's run a set. Let's score a point. Let's see if we can get some mojo back. That's coaching to me. But all in all, if you keep getting punched and you're like still watery-eyed, it's just eventually you're like, all right, F this. I'm done. And you just can't recover. I think that's what happened tonight. I think that they came out of halftime and the Rockets as a team, whether it's coaching or not, they said, we need to turn it up on the defensive end to gain control back of this game because we are getting punked and we're the better team. And they are the better team right now with the Grizzlies injured.
The Grizzlies also need more psychos. I'm very partial to psychos. That's why I was like the last one on Dylan Brooks Island.
You got too many nice people.
Yeah, we need, like, the problem is we drafted Zaire Williams, Jake LaRavia, and David Roddy, so we can't get any Josh Harts and Josh Okogis. We got a Vince Williams. One psycho's coming, but you need more psychos. We had a psycho. Problem was he couldn't stop shooting and missing. Now he plays for the team that beat us tonight.
Yeah, but he wasn't the reason. That
I'll always be bitter about it. No, he's not the reason that they beat us tonight. Wish he could have freaking played in a role here so we could have kept him as a psychopath, but he couldn't. But the Grizzlies need more psychos. Jake, too nice. Leaves all on the court, though.
I'm so over that. All right, so we talked a lot. Let's put a positive spin on it real quick because I don't have a lot for Grizz Trivia.
Game's over. Try again tomorrow.
And I don't have a ton that I want to do for the look ahead and look around. So I do want to spend more time on the game, which we have. We're over the halfway point of the show on this. I think we spent enough time on it. Just to give everybody a heads up, one, we are not going to be here on the weekends as we go throughout the year. I know some of you might be upset about that. I apologize. We're not going to do weekend games. People have lives, and I know there's a lot of OGs out there that love watching, or tuning in immediately after any game, whether it's weekends or weekdays. And we do appreciate that, but it doesn't make sense for us to try to piece together me bringing another guest on and then Nate hosting and then him bringing a guest on when we could just be together during the week and have it like that. And so that's the reason we're doing it. We had talks at one point of trying to add people to do something. We were going to at one point, but I just don't know if it matters. I don't know if anybody really has the time to run the show and host the show on the weekend. So that's the issue. And as Robbie's saying, weekends for families, 100%. Mm-hmm. So that is the truth. Wayno's over here like, bruh, got no life. No, we know you got a life. You got kiddos, Wayno. So anyway, but I just want to give everybody kind of the update of the season since this is me and Nate's first show. And so just want to make sure. But the main thing I want to say tonight is me and King Meeks in a wrestling match. I'm down. No, but
street.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll post it up. But we want to do. Let's put a spin on it. All right, real quick. I see Black Ninja DJ said this twice. Mm-hmm. Grizz 901 Discord. We do have a Discord at Bluff City Media. I don't have time to run it. We do have a Grizz 901 channel. If we would have enough people to do it, I would say we could do something. The problem is I don't know what we would do to if you don't want to pay, I get it. Like, I think it's $5 a month to join the Bluff City Media Discord. It does have more information. There's other Grizzlies fans. Plus you get all the Tiger stuff. So if you want to join that, join that. Maybe down the road, we'll do something that might be smaller and we do a kind of a Twitter thing or maybe a Discord in general, but I don't know if it's needed. Black Ninja, I love you, man. I don't know if it's needed just yet.
The other problem is this drives Daniel crazy. I don't have notifications on my phone. I don't check any. So it's anytime something gets put on Twitter, honestly, even if someone texts me, I don't see it. It makes me a much healthier human, but not great at Discord. So I'd have to change my lifestyle a little bit.
We'll figure out something. But we'll figure out something. But all right, let's put a positive spin on it. Let's spend 5 minutes and then we'll get to Grizz Trivia and we'll kind of we'll bounce around for the rest of the show. But positive spin. Just because I said we were going to do this, and I want to make sure we always end on a positive note. Just for the team, the Grizzlies, you can play a style of a game, and you get there. And the other team's style is just so overwhelming. You can't get into your sets. You can't get to your flow. I think that's what happened tonight, all in all. I really do think we have a player problem on this team, just in general, just for looking at it. Not that this team is bad. I have a vision for the team to obviously go and win a championship, just like we all do as fans. I think this team has a player problem with, I don't think we have the right players that we really need to have the style of player. And I know I've already talked negative about some players. I just think we need to maybe change some things. It's going to either happen over the season or they get better. Like, there's going to be trades that happen because they're just not cutting it, or they're going to eventually mold into the way that maybe the coaches envision them. I just don't see it yet, and I'm curious if it happens. But all in all, I do think this team will be fine. I just think they got punked tonight.
Yeah. I would be shocked if they don't make moves before the deadline this year. Like, this is they're way past, development timeline at this point. But But one, yeah, exactly. What Nope's saying. This is not their final form. They're missing a bunch of players, and pretty much all of them are key contributors. You got Jaron, Vince, Gigi, Luke. Who else? There's one more. It doesn't matter. You're missing I already said Vince. But you're missing those guys who are all massive contributors to your team. So that's number one. Number two, it's the second game of the season. And, let's take a look at the Knicks, who I think everybody thinks has a bunch of good players and should be running deep into the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
They got donged by 23 points the other night.
Donged? That's kind of a strong word.
Donged. Okay. No, I watched the game. It was not as close as the score indicates. And they got beat by 23. Then they turn around and win by 25 tonight, 2 nights later, right? Yeah. That's the NBA, right? This isn't – I know we're all in college football.
Bruh.
It's a less aggressive way of saying what I wanted to say. Yes, they got donged. I don't know. Did anybody else watch that game? I did. It was gross. It was never close. Never once. I sold 0 lies.
Listen, I just love the dong word. I think that's great.
I got dong. Listen, I got that on this show and TWS. It's our hallmark. Yeah. But it's the NBA. I know we're all in college football and college basketball mindsets because it's college type stuff. Big college town. This isn't the college, it's the NBA. Most likely you're going to lose 30 to 40 something games.
Yeah.
Right. And some of them you're going to get absolutely beat. There we go. Sure. So seems to making people uncomfortable. So yeah, it happens, man. And honestly, if they'd have just won one of these games, I'd been happy no matter what. Just ugly tonight. So yeah, they're going to be fine. They're going to get a bunch of players back. They're going to be juiced up tomorrow night for the home opener. Much more excited to watch that game than I was this one.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we'll talk a lot about what's going to go on tomorrow night. I do have a friendly bet on the money line of this game with a guy off one of my shows, my betting shows. And so if you want to tune into Weekend Wagers on Driving the Line. It's on at 2:00 Central. It's me and 2 buddies that are on that show, but we had a fun little bet, and so it's me against Syria's Robbie Hockey, and so just a fun little friendly thing.
Robbie.
So Robbie's got the Magic. I have the Grizzlies money line, and so we'll see how that goes.
But, sorry, Robbie, I can't actually cheer for you now.
Sorry, that's
unless it's just the spread. Nope. I don't know what the spread would be. I don't know what the line is.
Great money line, homie. All right, let's get to a commercial real quick. We'll be back here in about a minute.
I think Zach Edey played well. He got his fouls in. He got them in for sure. But we saw some flashes of really what he can do. Whether that's setting screens or just whether blocking shots or just making guys change their mind about shots, or just affecting the quality of shots that guys were getting in the game. We saw that a lot. They gotta use him though, man. They gotta be able to find him a little bit.
I was about to say they especially the whole first quarter. It was because I think that lob that y'all had him, that was his first points of the game. So it was the whole first quarter I did peep that. It was I see everybody else attempting 5+ shots.
Right.
Y'all gotta find a way to give Zach Edey something at some point. Everything was running well last night, right? The offense was flowing well. It's gonna come a stretch of time where they're gonna be stagnant, and at that time, that's when I expect them. Okay, hey, let's run a post play to Zach Edey.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to Grizz 901. This is your home for the Grizzlies postgame show. So make sure you join us after each and every weekday game. We're going to have a lot of fun as we always do. Tonight was an ugly game. The Grizzlies go down 128-108 to the Houston Rockets. But if you can join us over on YouTube. If you're on Twitter watching us, there's a lot of other people there commenting and growing through that. And so we have a good time over on YouTube as we continue to grow that platform. But make sure you join us each and every weekday as we have just new Bluff City Media content coming out. We have Anthony Shane's show that comes on noon on Wednesdays and Fridays. The No Bluffing podcast noon on Mondays. Then you have the $2 Sports Show, which just came out today at 3:00. So if you missed it, you can always go back and watch it. They give you more fun stuff to carry you to the weekend. So if for some reason you do miss it, go back and check it out. I promise you, those two dudes are just killing over there. And then every Monday, or not every Monday, every weekday at 7:30 a.m., you have Luke Hatmaker. And then one of the $2, usually, maybe Paris Sharkey, maybe myself, maybe somebody else on the daily grind. So make sure you check us out each and every weekday at 7:30 a.m. For the daily grind. But I hope you're ready for this Grizz Trivia. Let's get it. All right, let's get to the Grizz Trivia, Nate. I hope you're ready. Last one sucked. Okay, I was wrong, actually. All right, but this one, I will not be wrong. But Desmond Bane has made multiple three-pointers in how many straight games that ended tonight, where I believe Desmond Bane went 0 of 4. So he had a game stretch of how many games in a row, which was the second longest in the NBA. How many games had he made multiple three-pointers?
Second longest active or second longest period, like in NBA history?
The second longest active streak in the NBA. And this is the second longest in franchise history, behind his own streak in 2022.
I'm going to say 28.
You've been watching that chat, boy.
I didn't. I looked away on purpose. I saw Alan put a number in there.
28 is correct. Look at Nate. Look at Rusty, King Meeks, Grizz Girl. You need to give some love to Desmond Bane. Austin was giving up to 32 there, but yeah, he is. He's second to Dante DiVincenzo, and his other longest streak, which is the franchise record, is a 30-game streak that ended in 2022. No other player in franchise history has had such a streak longer than 15 games. That's how bad the shooting has been with the Grizzlies. It's just been a complete terrible. So anyway, so it's been a little ugly. Does that surprise you that maybe Mike Miller or I don't know, Mike Conley, anybody hasn't had a multiple game streak at all?
I mean, you would think like Mike Miller would be hitting more until you remember the era he was playing in, and that just was not the style. Right, he just didn't shoot a bunch of threes.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
And it's the Grizzlies.
Yeah. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. We're gonna go ahead and do the look ahead and a look around. All right, as we get going, we're gonna look at what we have moving forward. Looking around the league a little bit. Anything surprise you tonight? I know you talked a little bit about the New York Knicks. Is there any other game or anything that kind of stood out to you tonight?
Let's see.
Currently, real quick, the Warriors are beating the Jazz 106-76 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth, which is a little crazy. The Trailblazers are winning by 9 points midway through the third against the Pelicans. And the Suns and the Lakers are tied in the third.
Nothing's really shocked me tonight. Bucks losing to the Bulls. And I think, is that the Bucks home opener or is their first game at home too? Yeah, giving 133 to the Bulls in their home openers. Right. Pretty surprising.
Yeah.
But not tonight. I got other nights though.
Listen, I might not have the night when I'm actually on a show, but I have so many other nights that I'd love to.
Listen, I'm just saying I got other nights that have been surprising to me. Shall we talk about those? I'm just going to take free reign and do it.
Not yet. LaMelo Ball tonight. He made 9 3-pointers, which were one short of the franchise record. But on the season, like he went 9 of 14 this game. He went 4 of 12 last game from 3-point land. LaMelo's been shooting the ball pretty well. That's what, even LaMelo, Wayno, best friends, he was talking about him. So I'm curious, in all honesty, how well he keeps playing, because I do think that LaMelo has been playing with his hair on fire. So what else do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about two teams that I do not get good vibes from. Let's just start off with the number one. Dude, bad vibes from the Nuggets.
Really?
Bad vibes from the Nuggets.
Why?
Just looks off, man. You talked about tonight the Grizzlies not having any juice.
Yeah.
I watched almost the entirety of that game with the Nuggets last night, and I just never once thought they looked like they had it.
Okay.
And Jokic looked like he's alone almost. He looks like he's alone. It just looks like the pieces they have around him, like maybe Christian Braun showed me some stuff. It looked like maybe he might be able to come on, but it's like, that's it, man. That's it. And Murray doesn't look like he's on the up and up, and same thing, right? It's the beginning of the season, past NBA champions. They might just be letting themselves work into a groove, but there's a part where it's like, hey, like Luka's not in shape this season, which has always been the Luka story. And then there's like, man, they don't look like a team, right? And that's what it felt like watching the Nuggets. I did not like that. And then the other one, I don't like the Wolves setup, man. And I know, like, it's kind of like we're supposed to hate on the Wolves because of the playoff history and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with that. I just like Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards never made sense to me, and it doesn't look like they mesh.
Yeah.
Only 2 games into the season, everybody has a chance to turn things around and to look way awesome or way terrible, right? But it just seems like they're missing something too,
Okay.
They could easily just be, 2 games into the season. They got a lot to work with, but I never thought Randall made much sense to put next to Edwards anyways. I never thought DiVincenzo made much sense for them specifically, right? It's like, hey, we're going to add on to a player archetype we already have kind of in spades, right? Like, I just, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It didn't feel right. And the vibes have felt off the first 2 games. I know they squeaked one out against the Kings last night. That's because the Kings decided that DeMar DeRozan was the right player to put next to Aaron Fox, which thanks. As a Western Conference team, thanks for doing that.
Right.
So we'll see.
Going back to what you talked about a little bit about the Bulls. Wayne was talking about the Bulls here. Giddy was kind of showing what the Bulls have been missing with the Lonzo injuries, and I agree. But you look at this stat line: Kobe White, 35.6 rebounds, 5 assists. Zach LaVine, 25 points, 5 rebounds and an assist. Josh Giddey, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. Vucci Main, 22 points, 10 rebounds. Patrick Williams, 13 points, 5 rebounds to assist. Honestly, like, that surprises me that they're playing that well. But the fact that like a guy like Kobe White, who went 7 of 13 tonight from 3-point land, just crazy. Like he's playing so much better, and it's just the fact that, one, I love his hair, but 2, the fact that he's shooting so well but playing so well it's great. It's very alarming, but it's great. I like when guys kind of jump up the radar and just kind of take off, and so big fan of Kobe White just in general.
Also, other thing, I'm going to victory lap till the day I die. Miles McBride being awesome. That dude is awesome. He's always been awesome.
How did he play tonight? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm sure he was awesome.
Pretty sure he's awesome.
Pretty sure he was the best player on the team, probably.
Miles McBride, 21 minutes. Yeah, 2 of 2 from deep. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Fine.
Okay. Yet another solid night. He probably decides to take a step back, let Brunson take the spotlight for a night.
Probably.
Miles McBride's awesome, man.
All right, let's get to go ahead and do the look ahead. We don't have the video from Ryan because partly my fault. But he did say the audio was really good. I haven't quite listened to it yet, but I would imagine it's pretty awesome. But tonight the Orlando Magic win 116-101. So they have now played 2 games in 3 days, and they play their third game in 4 days, and they have to travel just like the Grizzlies do. The Grizzlies do come back home to their home opener, which is honestly, it's great for us as fans to be able to get them as a home opener. But the third game in 4 days is a little tough, but you do get a kind of a jolt of energy getting Jaren Jackson Jr. back, which is a big bonus. But tonight, you did have Franz Wagner, 29.6 rebounds, 5 assists. Paolo, 15.6 rebounds, 9 assists. So if we're looking at tomorrow night, they obviously have Wendell Carter Jr. He had 8 points, 11 rebounds. I would expect maybe a double-double out of Wendell Carter tomorrow night. They have KCP, who always shoots the ball well against us, and then Jalen Suggs, who's a pretty good defender, probably going to be on Ja. Anything that you're looking forward to tomorrow?
Yeah, Jalen Suggs on Ja. That'll be fun for us. This is like there's very few guys like, hey, he'll probably get the Ja assignment. I'm like, oh, oh no. I think Grizzlies come out with a little extra juice. I think they get a little bit of an extra boost from having Jaren getting inserted into the lineup, assuming he plays. Knock on wood. But assuming he's going to play, that's going to help. They didn't have much juice tonight, so they should have it in spades tomorrow night, home opener. Should be good. And I think they need to win this one. They need to win against the Nets. If you get out of October 500, I think that's great. That's what I would have been looking for at the start. So if you beat the Magic, beat the Nets, that gets you at least 500 going into November, which is what I would want. Yeah. So I expect they go all out tomorrow night, and they want to win now. Magic got a few guys who can just catch fire, right? Like Paolo's awesome. Franz is awesome. If they didn't have Jaren coming back tomorrow night, I would be pretty concerned. You just don't have the horses to keep up with that. With Jaren coming back tomorrow night, I do think they have the bodies to match up. And I think it helps Edie. And I think it helps Brandon. I know a bunch of people are already out on Brandon, but I'm like, man, I think putting Jaren back into the lineup can really help Brandon Clark play the game that he likes to play. And I think if Brandon Clark can do a lot of things for you, then things will go really well for this team.
100%. And real quick, the Dodgers look to have won Game 1 of the World Series. The Dodgers are at home going against the Yankees, and it looked like it was a Freddie Freeman grand slam in the bottom of the 10th in a crazy Game 1. So a lot of people aren't big baseball fans, but I want to share that because the World Series is going on right now. And I love Freddie Freeman. Great ball player, but there's a lot of great talent on both those teams. Two of probably the biggest payrolls in all of baseball. But
maybe both teams can lose.
Yeah, maybe they will. As the Black Knee DJ says, I agree the same thing. Matchup is much better than with the Rockets. I'm not sure what you're saying.
I'm good.
Look at Wayno. Look at Wayno. Is this the new name? Dong you later. Dong Jenkins. All right. I like it.
Did not mean to start this, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm looking at, like you were talking about, we do have the Saturday game, which we won't have a post-game show, but I expect the Grizzlies to come out and look much better. And then, God, the dong is going crazy. And then we have Monday.
I made it so much worse.
Monday is the game versus the Bulls, which is exciting. We've talked a lot about the Bulls already, so I feel like we kind of previewed that as well. And then we'll have another game Wednesday, the return of Zaire coming back to Memphis. Probably a huge game out of Zaire. And then Thursday, which is a back-to-back. Thursday we have the Bucks, and so we'll have 3 post-game shows next week. So make sure you tune in, turn it up, baby, because we'll be here. Are you here every day next week?
Probably not. I gotta take a look. Gotta do some traveling next week. Just living that life, brother.
All right. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So we should both be here, but it could. You never know with our schedule. Sometimes everything gets flipped up, turned upside down, and so we'll see how it goes. But closing thoughts, Nate. We went over our hour longer than we normally plan to be here. But closing thoughts. Anything that you want to hit on before we get out?
I'm just enjoying it. Seriously, I know we joke about a lot of stuff, but Man, it's fun to be back here doing this. Grateful that this is what we get to spend our nights doing. It's a blessed life. Glad the Grizzlies are back playing basketball, and glad they're gonna have their guys back. We're gonna have our actual team like sooner than later.
Yeah.
And not have to go through what happened last year. Knock on wood. So excited, a lot of fun. John Morant's awesome at basketball.
Yeah, and if you look about it, I know we kind of hit on, like, I don't care if we lose games, and I think me and you share the same motto. Like, we don't really care if we lose games, because honestly, like, some of the best teams they only, honestly, instead of being 500, they win 15 or 12 to 15 more. Realistically, those are really good teams in the league. Is instead of it's a 12 to 15 game flip. That is literally it. And so there's not a lot that you really have to change to be able to go on a little bit of a streak, and then you end up increasing that gap. And so with basketball, it's very simple. You catch a good streak, you got to kind of find yourself. And so very early in the season, there's no, I guess, stress for me just yet. But I see a lot of writing on the wall. Some of these guys I just don't love. I just don't love, how they fit with this team just yet. But we'll see. The season is very, very young, but we're having a lot of fun doing this show, as we always do. And so join us if you're new here. Thank you. If it's your first time, welcome. This is going to be literally what we're going to be here hanging out with you after each game. So so tell your friends, and if you're on Twitter, join us on YouTube. We'd love to have you over here because we have the OGs over here continue to carry us each and every night, as well as there's so many ton of new people I've seen just on YouTube itself, let alone Twitter. And so these shows are always pretty big as we go throughout the season. So that first home game is going to hit different. So everybody, if you're going to the Grindhouse, honestly, have the time of your life. It's going to be a great time. But that's all we got. Let's have a good Saturday win, and we'll come back and play Chicago, and we'll be 2-1 on the season. We get to go against the good hair of Kobe White. It's going to be a great night. But that's all we got. Be nice and tell your friends.